Hello, my name is Paul Stewart, and after accidentally deleting the introduction to this video, I'm filming it again at Sydney International Airport. We're about to fly to Kuala Lumpur with Malaysia Airlines in their new business class product. Now, a month before the flight, the aircraft was upgraded to the new Airbus A350 XWB, which is much newer, more comfortable, and has cool looking wingtips.
How cool do they look? They are objectively awesome looking. Anyway, more footage out the window later. Let's return to the start of this 8-hour journey to Malaysia. I actually managed to capture my aircraft landing into what was a rather drab Sydney day. Once in the terminal, I checked in and headed for the express pass through customs. It's hard to find and it's right next to the Comtes check-in desk, so it might be easier just to look for that. Once I cleared customs, I headed to the Comtes business lounge, although it was totally packed and they were in the process of clearing the breakfast options, so it wasn't in a great state. Instead, I headed off to watch some planes, including my own aircraft, once again. Now that Qantas are retiring the 747s in the next 2 years, I take every opportunity to film them. I think this one was heading off to San Francisco. Eventually it was time to board. There are 2 business cabins with my seat 5K in the forward one. Now the seats are in an interesting layout which I'll attempt to explain. On my side of the aircraft, the seats alternate between double seats and singles called thrones. The middle seats are all doubles and ideal for couples, and the other side, or the A side, are all singles and ideal for single travellers. In my opinion, the throne seats are the pick of the bunch due to the ledges, which are handy if you fly with as much junk as I do, yet they're still quite private. Just be aware that the leg recesses are quite tight if you're trying to sleep. The bulkhead seats, or the doubles, have more legroom. A fruit juice or water was offered, followed by champagne and a cold towel. Now let's go through this throne seat in more detail. I'll briefly mention the touchscreen, although I'll talk about the in-flight entertainment after we take off. As you can see, it's quite a good design with heaps of storage space. I particularly like the closed cubby holes, as I know my stuff won't be thrown around in the case of severe turbulence. There's also a mirror so I can look at myself if I want to, and I don't, and a spot perfectly sized for my phone. Comment below if you can identify the aircraft and the airline on my wallpaper. There's heaps of seat adjustments, including a massage feature, a reading light, and below that a spot for a water bottle. There's a remote if you don't want to use a touchscreen, and next to that are single touch buttons for your seat adjustments. Now swapping over to the other side is a rather massive ledge and a storage spot which is much bigger than it looks. I'll surprise you later when I manage to fit in my rather large and unfortunate looking backpack. And I finish off with the legroom, which is perfectly fine when you're sitting up, although when the seat is converted flat, it's quite tight down there near your toes. And here's everything I forgot to film in that single scene, the fold-out table. It really does provide for a perfect work desk if you're travelling in business to do business. And there's power plugs, including a universal socket and a USB port for smaller devices. Another great feature that some airlines seem to be removing is the overhead air vents. I usually find cabins a little too hot and really appreciate the steady stream of air. Now here's the amenity kit, which I'll be giving away to a subscriber with details of that later in the video. It was a perfectly good kit, although no pajamas were offered. And now for some rather smooth camera work as I make my $20 Kmart backpack disappear into the storage space. I might also mention my Instagram and Facebook pages, which are a great source of aviation geekness. Please like and follow me because, being the millennial that I am, my entire self-esteem is built upon likes from people I've never met.
Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your pilot in command, Captain Dato Kudin. Together with me in the cockpit, my team for today is Officer Sharin Abu Hassan. In the cabin, in-flight supervisor in charge is Mubinder Singh. Welcome aboard on a service MH122 to Kuala Lumpur. Flight time is 8 hours and 15 minutes.
That particular whale was heading off to Dallas and we were off to KL. I'll stop talking so you can enjoy the Rolls-Royce Trent XWB's explode fuel into my happiness. So enough views out of the window, although there's more coming as I honestly got some of the best views out of an aircraft ever during this flight. The meal service began with some nuts and a top-up of the champagne. Following that was Malaysia Airlines' famous satay, which tasted fantastic. There's an option of beef, chicken or both, and I was incredibly fortunate enough to have got a double serving. Coming up is the rest of the meal service, including views out of the window, and I'll include the menus at the end of the video. The view as we were flying over the Australian outback was pretty impressive, and to celebrate that view, I had some more dessert wine. Malaysian Airlines have 2 bathrooms for business passengers, and they're located between both business cabins. Unsurprisingly, in an aircraft that was only a few months old, they both felt very clean and fresh. After visiting the loo, it was time to settle down and watch a movie. Now the actual hardware is quite impressive, with the touchscreen responding well to, touch, and it scrolled through the menus quickly. The flight map was pretty cool, although I do wonder if they were saving cost by not painting the aircraft. Otherwise, it's always a cool view, especially as I like to try and identify what I'm flying over. The biggest problem, though, was the minimal content. I honestly struggled to find much to watch. Another interesting feature was how the TV programs are all censored. So during scenes of dramatic verbal interpersonal conflict, it would just go silent with people seemingly mouthing insults at each other. Anyway, I reclined the seat and did some work on my laptop. Now there are a number of dine anytime options, so a few hours later I had some noodles and coffee. It was around this time that the sun started to set and there were some amazing views out of the windows. Coming up are a number of different views from different seats and some soppy music. After that, I was in a relaxed mood and figured I'd have a nap. Of course, the seat folds completely flat. After an hour or two of shut-eye, it was time to prepare for landing, so I had a quick drink of orange juice and mineral water. Following that, a warm towel was brought around to clean up my face, and the amazing view continued outside. One major complaint was the fact that the headphones were collected 30 minutes before landing. I'm assuming they're worried about them being stolen, but it's quite annoying, as I'd finally found something I wanted to watch. Instead, I was stuck with just my thoughts, which was quite boring. Anywho, as always, I'm giving away the amenity kit to a subscriber. You've got 30 days from when this video is published to enter, and all you need to do is comment below, including hashtag #MHAmenityKit, and you're in the running. Details of the giveaway can be found in the video description below. So, to summarise the flight, overall, it was pretty good. The seat itself is great, and there's a wide variety of seating options depending on what you prefer. The food and drink were all fine, and the crew were wonderful. The only significant issue was the lack of content in the in-flight entertainment. The A350 itself is a wonderful aircraft and always a joy to fly in and look out of. I believe that Malaysian are targeting the Australian market as a route through to Europe and North America, and since they're often quite cheaper than the usual Qantas, Cathay and Emirates, I think they're a great option. That's about it from me. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more similar videos. Check out my review of Cathay and China Airlines A350 business class product, as well as the Malaysian A350 first class product from KL through to London. And don't forget to enter in the amenity kit giveaway. Thanks for watching, see you another time. And coming up are the menus.